going on? Another Tuesday, and I'm super excited. I got one of my favorite people about to jump on the show with me. Super special interview that means so much to me because I literally got to watch this kid kind of grow up and flourish. But I feel like I'm getting to that point in my career where I've done that with like so many of these kids. Um, it's just wild, like seeing like Coach Carroll get the opportunity over at Chaparral. Um, I mean, sure, I've seen Coach Regal from ASU make it from the high school sidelines to the college sidelines at a few spots, and then obviously Dillingham and all these guys. And so, like, it's just always like super exciting for me watching these kids take that next evolutionary step. And speaking of which, we just had the NFL draft, which was super exciting, and besides having like five kids taken, we had a ton go free agent and stuff. I know Jacoby Covington went to the Chiefs. I know Coleman Owen got picked up. I've seen a few names here and there, get picked up by a few teams. So UDFA, dude, there's nothing wrong with that. We had a couple guys over the past few years get that big opportunity and really turn it into something. It's cool to hear your name called, but I think the most important thing is making sure that you stay on that grind and just get an opportunity to continue furthering your career, building your platform, and giving back to the community. Shout out to Spencer Rattler, by the way. I saw that he's got a camp coming up at Corona del Sol the day after Flight Club, which I think is so cool. So I want to make sure that everybody, all the quarterbacks that get involved with Flight Club, take an opportunity to go to Spencer Rattler's camp. I think it's at Corona del Sol. So make sure that you guys pop in. And I know that he's going to have some guest coaches, some high level coaches come through and make sure that they work with these quarterbacks and do cool things. Speaking of camps, there are a couple camps coming your way. I'm going to talk to my next guest about them. And don't forget, Gridiron. Me and Gridiron are doing some things. We're going to break down some of these NFL kids that got their names heard on television and got to, do their thing. And then we got a super special Inside the Number spotlight. But man, these NBA playoffs absolutely crazy. I did not think that the Lakers were going to have all these problems. I did not think that the Bucks were going to get swept, and I didn't think that I was going to see Giannis Antetokounmpo, the alphabet man, get into it. I don't know if he got into it because at the end of it, I know that like SportsCenter or somebody like posted that like he got into it with Holly Burton's dad or whatever. But at the end of it, it looked like he said something about like I got love for you, I love you, or something like that, and gave him like the one or something. I don't know, but the playoffs been crazy. I didn't think the Heat was going to just get swept out the building. I thought Tyler Hero when he said that they weren't going to lose in four after they got smoked in Game 3. I thought he was serious about it. And I thought he was going to make that thing work. I know that a lot of people are already trying to turn their attention to baseball season, football season, and all that stuff because we just had the NFL draft happen. By the way, I got to show love to ASU's own Cam Scatterboo. I saw a lot of U of A hate from their analysts and writers and reporters. I'm not standing for all that because listen, we got dudes that are coming. We got dudes that are coming. These next few drafts, you just wait and see. It's going to be insane. We got dudes that are going to be high draft picks, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch and watch that situation evolve. But like I said, without further ado, I do got a super special guest. I did get to watch his career unfold. He became a committed Division I football player when he chose Idaho State, and then he became an ASU coach. Jumped on the coaching staff. I think he was an analyst, and then jumped on as a defensive assistant this year. The one and only, straight from the U, SAG U. You know the deal. My guy Cannen Siegel jumping on the show in just 3 seconds.
Oh, Chili, what's up, bro?
Coach Cannen Siegel. Hey, so I had to change your name in my phone to Coach Cannen Siegel because anybody that becomes a coach, like I always put coach in front of their name and pretty much changes their first name to coach. So Coach Siegel,
that.
Man, how's it going? How is like this journey for you? Like that's the first thing like I want to know. Like it seems like just yesterday you were over at Saguaro getting ready for your senior year. That was robbed from you. And then you committed to Idaho State, and then now you're over here at ASU activating the Valley and having fun working harder than anybody else in the country.
Yeah, Chili, man, it's been a blessing, really. It's really been the people in my life that have got me to this point. Coach Mons at Saguaro, and then Coach Ray and Coach Amy at Idaho State. And then obviously Coach Dillingham here and Coach Ward at Arizona State. And things just kind of happening. Like everything happens for a reason. I did get robbed in my senior season, but things happen for a reason. I dove more into coaching. I helped out on the scout team at Saguaro.
Yes, you did.
Idaho State, helped out Coach Amy with some D-line stuff there, and then ended up here and just been grinding. So it's really been a blessing to have been put in this position, and I'm really thankful for everybody that's helped me get here, because without them, I would not be in this seat.
Hey, this isn't the first conversation that we've ever had, and this definitely won't be the last. So let's kind of go block by block, brick by brick on this. Your junior year, you were just starting to break out, come into your own, figure out, what your future was going to look like. I legitimately thought that I was looking at a kid, a linebacker that was probably going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 tackles his senior year and get a big opportunity, right? Your senior year doesn't go as planned, but I remember talking to you at the Chaparral game, and I was like, "Yo, dude, you guys might blow the doors off these guys." And at halftime, you gave me the real. You gave me the real. You said, "Hey, we got to work. We got to work. This ain't gonna be easy." And you put your coaching hat on. You talked to me at halftime, and then after the camera stopped rolling, I was like, "Hey, Cannen, y'all gonna run away with this?" And you're like, "Nah, Chili, our guys got to work." And you started breaking down things that you saw and things that you want. You said, "Hey, this is going to come down to whoever has the ball last, whoever toughens up." And look, the game didn't quite go your way that night, but how did you start to figure all that stuff out? How did you start watching the game as a coach and not as a player?
Yeah, I think it was really just the mentorship I had at the time that led me to have the sort of mind frame that I worked in. Coach Mons and Coach Louis Ramirez, obviously. I remember speaking to you at halftime, and we got to keep their foot in their necks, man, because we were up 20-6, and it was, we were pulling away, and I think things got out of hand in the second half, and that game still haunts me to this day. But it really, I've always kind of had the mindset of just keeping good effort on the field, making sure that all our guys are staying up. It's easy to get down. And I think when I put the coaching hat on, it wasn't really more scheme. It was more the effort and physicality of our players that were playing. Hold on one sec, Shelly. Hold on one sec. I got to.
Man, hey, Cannen was one of the super special kids over there at Saguaro. I got a chance to talk to Mons about him when Cannen was a senior, and I was like, "Hey, listen, I know that Cannen got injured. I'd like to use him for some things." And Cannen jumped on at halftime, which Mons cleared. Mons said, "Hey, just don't railroad my kid." And I said, "Cool." And we just had a conversation. It's on a vlog somewhere. And then Cannen, me and you talked about it, breaking down some playoff games and stuff. I'm just so fascinated by how you were able to just shift gears, because you were broken up about the injury, but you didn't let it stop your drive to make sure that you could do something else to contribute to the team. You weren't a decoration on the sideline. You were an active participant in a variety of ways for the program. How did you just make sure that you could do that stuff for your team and be there for them?
I think it was really the my teammates around me. They held such an important place in my heart. So when I got injured, obviously, for anybody that happens to, that was the worst feeling. But I already had this vision that we were gonna win at the end of the year, and I felt like I couldn't just be some guy that shows up to games and maybe comes to some practices, because it's your senior year. It's where do you go from there? And being a captain and being a leader of the team, I felt like I owed it to my teammates, my brothers, that I had to do something to help out the team. So I helped on the scout team. I ran the defense scout team. I helped Coach Ramirez with special teams management during the games. Held an offensive script, worked along with that, and did as much as I can. I remember in playoffs, Coach Mullins gave me the opportunity to start actually scripting our own scout defense and what they would do versus certain down distances. And that was one of the best. It might not seem like a lot, but that was one of the best feelings in the world, to have the trust of your coach that you've known for such a long time, give you the authority to script scout defensive calls. And I had he doesn't know, but I had so much appreciation for that moment. And then I really just owed it to my teammates and the coaches and my brothers that I played along with.
Hey, so you shift into becoming a coaching type. on the team. But then you get this unique opportunity. Coach Regal, Coach Amy, they reach out to you from Idaho State, and you get to shift gears again, and you get to become Cannen Siegel, the player. What was that like for you? That moment, finding out that like, hey, look, I'm going to get this opportunity to chase a dream, Division I athlete.
Man, and you said it right there. I just wanted an opportunity. Like I literally just wanted an opportunity to compete because I knew like I didn't have this senior year that I was expecting to have, and I was just like, man, like that was a chance. All these coaches stopped talking to me and warranted. I was hurt. They don't want to linebacker with the torn ACL. They don't want that. So it's like I got that one opportunity. I was like, man, I'm like this is it. Like this, I trust Coach Regal. I trust Coach Amy. Like these are down to earth people. They were close to the people I was close with. I trusted what everybody had to say, and it felt like I don't think I've ever been as determined in my life as I was in those 6 months leading up to going to Pocatello and training and going to a fall camp because I was locked in. Like I was recovering my ACL, and I was so hungry for the opportunity to compete once I got up there, and I transformed everything in my life, and that was like the most locked in I've ever been. So it was great to receive the opportunity, and I'm so thankful to Coach Amy and Coach Regal for that because I would not be here without that. You know.
Hey, I know Coach Regal and Coach Amy pretty well. I do also know that they bleed red and black, literally. How hard was that transition for you having to put all your trust into two chaparral guys like that?
It was easy. I mean, like Shap and Swirl, that's like the Shap and Swirl, it's a rivalry. It was in high school, and we still talk about it a lot to this day. And there's still some chatter back and forth, but they are some of the most trustworthy people I've ever met, and some of the most not just trustworthy but real people that I can confide in and trust and talk to and joke around with and just be boys with, and they've taken me under their wing. So it's been awesome to be like, build that relationship with them over the years. But there's some banter, but man, I trust them so much.
Hey, look, after that, you get another super unique opportunity to come back home. Coach Dillingham takes the job at Arizona State. Coach Regal, Coach Amy come along. And then shortly after, Coach Siegel is officially born. You come to ASU. You step in as an analyst, correct?
Student coach. I was a student. So I was still undergraduate.
Okay, so student coach. What was that like for you? That moment of deciding like, hey, look, I'm officially gonna hang up my cleats and I am going to chase this. What went into that thought process?
I mean, it was a really tough decision because obviously, like, I still have love for the game. Like, I still like sometimes like, man, I can still play. I'm still in shape, but like it was definitely a tough decision. But I spoke about it earlier, being in the right place at the right time. Like, I remember Coach Regal addressed the Idaho State team, and at the time I was still recovering my ACL from a year before, and I remember Coach Amy called me the night before and presented me with the opportunity, and it was in my head. It was such a tough decision to make, but there was this voice, but there's this like feeling I had that told me that going back to Arizona to start my coaching career early and getting the ins and outs of what it's like to be a GA and work on a support staff and contribute to something much bigger than yourself. Getting a head start on that was like what I needed to do. And, I took the opportunity. I left Pocatello behind, my playing days behind, which wasn't a great feeling. But at the end of the day, like, I'm in Arizona State in 3 weeks, and that determination I had with training and getting in shape and getting ready to go to fall camp my freshman year at Idaho State, I was really putting in the office at Arizona State and grinding here, whether it was making lanyards or making helping with unofficial visits or helping scouting and recruiting and doing everything I can to just make sure that people like know my name and make sure that I had like I was responsible for something here. So it was definitely a hard choice to make, but 3 weeks after I made the choice and I was here and I was grinding, I was like, man, this is it. Like, I'm building great relationships. The people here are amazing. I'm starting to just build great relationship with them. So it was probably the best decision I've ever made.
Hey, listen, I'm not throwing any fade towards my guys, my coaches, the Regals, the Amy's, the Coach Coopers, or anybody like that. But no secret, you're a smidge younger than everybody, and you just said yourself that sometimes you feel like you could do this, you could put the pads on. So like when you're going through drills and stuff, do you ever just say, "Hey, look, man, I just want to show these guys like this is what we're trying to do. This is what we're trying to accomplish." You jump in these drills, you get active because some of that stuff I don't always catch because I show up a little bit late to some of the practice that are open to the media and stuff. Do you get that to just kind of show them like how you want it done or how it's supposed to be done?
Yeah, there's sometimes I'm running a bag on a special teams drill. I'm just like, man, I'm this R3 on this kickoff. I can really blow this guy up, but I can't because I'm 5'11", 210, and I got a guy as tight end 6'4", 225. I'm gonna get blown up. Doesn't matter how big I think I am. I'm just gonna get blown up. So like I'd like to think that, but the truth is it probably happened at a lower level. It wouldn't be here.
Okay.
But when it comes to technique and learning how to coach, I think it's definitely important that the thing I've learned the most, definitely from Coach Mons, because I've known him longest, and I've known him since I was 12. Like he's coached me and taught me so much, learned so much from him, like how to coach different players, how to interact with different players. It is definitely something that I've grown so much in the past 2 years here, and teaching technique and when to help and when to talk about this or not talk about that, or leave it to the film room instead of explaining on the field, or learn more from a Coach Ward or Coach Daly about it rather than me speak myself about it because I'm not completely aware of the entire scheme that we're doing. But that's the one thing is when I'm teaching technique is knowing who I'm speaking to and knowing exactly what I'm saying, and not leaving anything in the gray.
All right, my guy, Coach Siegel, defensive assistant coach up here at ASU, out in Tempe. Look, man, I'm just super curious. Like, young coach, still a college student. How have you been able to juggle all that stuff, still maintain a social life and things like that, and be so involved at a Power Four program that went to the college football playoffs?
Man, it's I graduated in December, 2.5 years. I grinded my school. That's one thing I did, and that caused a lot of sacrifice. But I grinded my undergraduate degree because I have a vision, and balancing the social life with work. I have great relationships outside the football program, but it's a lot of sacrifice, and I can't speak because I've had too much experience, and some of the people I've sit next to have had 5, 10 plus, 15 plus, 20 plus. Like they have so much more experience about the sacrifices it takes. And I'm so new to it, so I don't want to speak on anything I don't know. But over these past 2 years, it's really been just knowing that there is light at the end of the tunnel, knowing that there is that you're doing something you're participating in something that's bigger than yourself. And I'm such I love the team, the brotherhood is what I'm about. And Coach Dillingham says it all the time, family is a word that's tossed around so much. But to see this program and how it's grown and the culture and how that has grown as well, I've grown with the culture. I'm all into the culture. I love the family, the brotherhood that's a part of this. So when I'm talking about the sacrifices I've made, it's not really in my head. I don't really see it as a sacrifice because I love to be here and sit next to the people I sit next to and help coach the players that I coach and build relationships with everybody in the building. So the sacrifice is, spending long hours here in the office, it might seem like a lot, but to me, it's kind of just I'm here with my guys and I'm doing what I love. I can afford to have a roof and a meal in front of me to do what I love. And I'm so grateful for that. So there is sacrifices, but man, I'm so glad that I'm making my sacrifices in this program and in this position.
Hey, one thing that I promised Coach Dillingham and Doug Tamaro that I would do with my guy Coach Siegel is plug these 2025 football camps that you guys got coming up. Now here we go. They're all on the website. I think it's the sundevils.com, and You guys got all these things coming up, a mega camp on June 4th, where I believe most of the coaches are going to be coaching yourself and probably some others, ninth grade to second year, 2-year institution or whatever. So it's like junior colleges. You also have the 7-on-7 passing academy, big man team camp. I think that's all the high school stuff. And then also very, very important, the Sun Devil youth camps. This is grades 1 through 8, where these kids are going to get the opportunity to get special instruction from coaches like yourself, from Coach Forgay and a handful of others, Coach Birch and stuff like that. You take this stuff very, very seriously, Coach Siegel, because I do actually know that you spent time coaching youth football before, ASU and before you left to go to college. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I sure did. I spent 3.5 years with the new McClintock head coach, Coach Nick Offenberger, with the Scottsdale Future U program. Yeah, plug him, man. That's one of my greatest mentors. That's one of the greatest humans I know. Yeah, greatest
McClintock got all the juice now.
But so I spent 3.5 years coaching youth up there. Those are some of the best times of my life. I still have memories from those games and those players that have gone on to do such great things in Arizona high school football. It's incredible to see, and I'm so proud of them. But yeah, I spent 3.5 years with those programs, and then obviously got to this point, but those were some of the best times of my life. Obviously, June 11th is our youth camp. The youth camp we've had since I've been a little kid, and I went when I was 11 and 12, and I had older guys that went that I knew that were in the program I was in. And it's one of the best experiences you can have to learn basic football. And it's grades 1st through 8th grade, obviously. We really just want to have a really good time. We want to have fun. Everybody at the camp should come and expect an extremely fun time, because when we did it last year, it was in the bubble. It's not going to be in the hot weather. We're doing it in the bubble. It's going to be air conditioned, so parents don't really worry. You bring water, but it's not going to be 110 degrees out. It's going to be a great time. We'll have position circuits and ball carrier drills and ball security drills and stuff like that. And it's a really great time. So I really encourage everybody, parents, to bring your little ones out. Middle schoolers, come on out, man. Come get checked out. Come have a great time, and bring your teams. All the youth teams in the Valley, I don't know what it really is now. I've been out of the youth game for 3 years now, but if any coaches are watching this, or just promote this camp for all these teams to come, because it's a really good time for your kids, and not only good for them to have a good experience, but for you to do a little team building with your group too, because obviously the season starts late July, early August to get the youth season started. So building this kind of camaraderie early with your kids, whether it's a new team or an existing team, is really important.
Hey, look, man. The thing that stands out to me about this whole thing is that the youth camp being so important. You yourself said that you've known Coach Mon since you were 12. You never, and now look like how far it has taken you. What's that saying? Your network is your net worth, or whatever. You built this network. You come to a camp like this, you get to know Coach Siegel. You never know where that's going to take you. I'm just saying that's the reality, right? Because that's how relationships are built. And so you get this chance as an 8th grader, 7th grader, or whatever. You build this relationship. Maybe Coach Siegel is the next high school coach somewhere out here, or jumps to a college or whatever. But this is how you build your network. And you got to start young. You did it yourself. You built a relationship with Coach Mons, and look where it's taken you. All across the western side of the United States, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach Siegel, I really appreciate you hanging out, man. And I know that you're going to be at all these 7-on-7 big man camps and all this stuff, because I saw you out at most of this stuff last year. So,
yeah.
Well,
Chili, man, I appreciate you, man. If bring me on this, and over the years that I've gotten to know you, and you reviewing my playing film, and now I'm on a podcast sitting at my desk talking about coaching and youth camps. It really happened sooner than I thought, but I appreciate you, man, and you do a lot of good for these kids in this valley, and I hope that everybody watching knows that this is a real human right here that does the things the right way.
Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, Coach Siegel, man, I'm gonna catch up with you. Keep activating the Valley, and keep having fun, working harder than everybody else in the country. All right,
sir. Go Devils. See you, Chili.
You know the deal. And boom, just like that,
Boom.
shifting gears inside the numbers. With the one, the only, as Eric Newman, our friend in Wisconsin, would say, the handsomest man in sports media, in high school sports media in the country. I changed it from Arizona to the entire country. You get the whole country now.
Wow.
So there's that. Hey, man, Coach Siegel
Yeah.
has had an amazing journey. I didn't think about that until I started talking to him.
2.5 years he's graduating.
Sheesh, my man is out there working.
Jaw dropper there. That's working. Yeah.
And gave the huge plug for McClintock football. Jeez.
Hey, he said one of his biggest mentors there, Coach O, and he's ready to get it started there over at McClintock. His first run as a head coach there, and maybe I underestimated them last week. We will see.
Man, that making you look bad. I think Coach Siegel was trying to give a little dig, just a little bit. Like, hey, Gridiron, you didn't show my man enough love. Let me make sure that I do this on Chili's show, because I know Inside the Numbers is coming up next. Hey, Coach Siegel is going to be another guy that we talk about, or that we talk to in like 5 years at a championship game, and he's be like, man, I used to always look forward to the recaps of the scores from Gridiron Arizona and the Gecko and all that stuff. So.
Well, this one doesn't age me as much because it's a little more recent. But I did attend 2 games during the 2021 Saguaro season. I was at that Chaparral game that he said still haunts him from 4 years ago, where the SaberCats let a 2-touchdown halftime lead get away into a 1-point loss. Chaparral ran the ball well in the second half of the game. And then I was at the championship game where Saguaro won the Open with Cannen basically serving on the coaching staff for the SaberCats, and they had the rally and defeated Chandler late to win that title.
Yeah, no, man, they handled that business. It became Devin Dampier time, and making that thing cook. Arizona, the state of Arizona, cooking in the NFL draft again. Look, man, I know it's not 10 players or 9 players or whatever, and I know that there's been years where we've had more, but to have 5 players go.
I think it's above the average. I think last week I said, we're usually good for, I think I might have said 4 to 5. But I remember seeing the thing that it said we'd had 17 in the previous 5 years. So maybe I said 3 or 4, but we were above that, putting 5 in the NFL draft there last Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, and we mentioned all these names last week. These are all names that came up during the show that we talked about that got drafted. And I guess without further ado, look, hey, we're not going to be breaking down schedules this week. I apologize because I had to kind of shift gears because I knew that Coach Siegel, who I've been waiting to get on the show, was going to come on the show. So,
and he had planned to go into coaching while he was still in high school too.
Yes. So, what we are going to do is we are going to recap. This is kind of the Inside the Numbers draft special, if you will. The yellow pad is back. The NFL.
We would have needed 2 if we'd have had a 6th player drafted. You're kind of coming and going there, Chili. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Okay.
I can hear you good.
Better there.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you better now, yes.
Okay. So Tyler Shuck gets drafted, the Hamilton quarterback, got drafted to the Saints. Should I read the names first and then you go?
No, you go ahead. Yeah, and we can do it one at a time, however you want to do it. Yeah, let's do it one at a time. Otherwise, I got a whole bunch if you do all 5 at once.
Okay, all right. So I'll go. Okay, so Tyler Shuck gets drafted. Hamilton, the Hamilton quarterback. He had a nice journey in college. Went to Oregon, Texas Tech, Louisville. Ends up with the Saints, getting drafted to the Saints, I believe, in the 2nd round. Gridiron, why don't you take it away? Go inside the numbers on super talented quarterback that I was right about. Got Kevin McCabe on his heels on this one. Tyler Shuck goes to the Saints.
Doubter?
And yeah, dude, he told me, he's like, oh,
Arizona talent.
He told me when we were watching a Hamilton game, and he's like, oh, Chili, I don't know if you can read quarterbacks. I'm not sure if he's gonna be that guy at the next. I was like, yo, dude. I was like, I know you're not doubting him like that, but like I'm telling you, Tyler Shuck is gonna be a dude. Gridiron, go ahead, go inside the numbers and prove what I know.
Tyler Shuck from Hamilton, the quarterback, 6'5", 225, went in the second round, pick number 40 to New Orleans. He was the third quarterback taken in the draft. He is well-traveled. He's 25 years old. Louisville is where he finished up his college career last season. Had 3,195 yards, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, completing 63% of his passes. Also played at Oregon and Texas Tech. Total college, he played a total of 42 games in college. Had 7,820 passing yards, 59 touchdowns, and 11 rushing TDs. Did all that overcoming injuries. Had a broken collarbone and also a broken leg during his college time there. Of course, had the benefit of the COVID year, and then also a redshirt year thrown in there as well. He played well in the Senior Bowl. I think that really helped his draft stock a lot. Went 9 for 13 for 62 yards and a touchdown. You go back to his high school years. It was 2017 was his senior year at Hamilton. That year he had 3,071 yards passing, 30 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions. Was rated number 1 in the state by Rivals going into college.
Made it rain.
Yeah, that would be number 1 in the state by Rivals.
Yeah, did his thing. All right, and then also in the second round, if I'm not mistaken, Ben Morrison from Brophy went to Notre Dame. Had a great career over there. Got injured. Got drafted by the Buccaneers. So also had a youth camp out here. Did his pro day at Brophy. Done a lot of amazing things. I actually got to.
I think he had like 20 some odd coaches out there.
Yeah. I actually got to watch him.
Or at least scouts. It might not have been coaches. It was scouts at least.
I watched him his senior year, I believe it was versus Desert Ridge. I believe it was a playoff game. Absolutely fantastic kid. Gridiron, I'll let you go inside the numbers. Ben Morrison out of Brophy going to the Buccaneers.
Yep, Benjamin Morrison, the Brophy cornerback, 6 foot 195, goes in the second round, pick number 53 to Tampa Bay. Played only 6 games last season due to a hip injury. Probably would have went earlier otherwise. I think, he would have basically a first round talent there. He has the versatility to play both man and zone. Cornerback as it was a need position for Tampa Bay. So he's going to have the ability to go out and compete right away to get time on the field. Notre Dame, the last 2 seasons before this, they had full seasons in 22 and 23. He had a total of 9 interceptions and 23 pass breakups. Has speed, length, fluid movements, confident, and he's competitive. You go back to his senior year at Brophy in 2021, had 46 tackles and 2 interceptions. He was the number 3 ranked Arizona player in the class by Rivals, was a first-team all-region cornerback and also a first-team all-region kick returner. Got on the field in special teams as well.
Man, super special kid. Was super fun to watch him. Every time I watched him play, like I swore that he might have been the best football player on the field at all times.
He probably was, yeah.
All right. Up next, always gets me, and I swear that I think that this kid is going to be an absolute legend. Unfortunately, like with the Eagles, because I'm a Giants fan. But Ty Robinson out of Higley, the super talented defensive lineman, absolute monster, was a terror for Coach Zuby in that defensive line. Goes to Nebraska, gets drafted by the Eagles. This is a kid that, like, I remember fighting to the death, arguing with people that he should have gotten certain awards and things like that, and then he didn't, and then I was super angry or whatever, frustrated, but didn't have control over that stuff. But Ty Robinson, super special ball player. Gridiron, let you go inside the numbers on the Higley product.
Yep, Ty Robinson from Higley, defensive lineman, 6'5", 290, 4th round, went pick number 111 to Philadelphia, can play all over the line. Quickness, he can work the edges, strong with his hands, elite character. Played 60 games at Nebraska. Had 134 tackles, 12 sacks, 26.5 tackles for losses, and 12 pass breakups. You go back to his senior year at Higley in 2018. He played defensive tackle that season, kind of moved to the inside. They needed him there. He had that size. I remember him kind of towering over a lot of the other linemen. He had 74 tackles and had 34 tackles for a loss in his senior year with the Knights. Was a 4-star recruit, and he has, as we mentioned, he played 60 games, so that encompasses a few years. And he did graduate from Nebraska. Has a degree in nutrition and health sciences.
Man, he was absolutely phenomenal to watch. Absolutely awesome. Loved watching him work. This next kid, who, by the way, oh my God, I cannot believe it. Like when I tagged him on Twitter, I tagged the wrong Lathan Ransom. I didn't know that there was gonna be.
There's more than one.
I guess there's more. There's more than one Lathan Ransom.
Lathan's kind of a unique name.
That's what I thought. Apparently,
did some Australian come in and say, "Hey, that's not me"?
Well, I just remember the familiarity of having tweeted about Lathan in the past. That I was like, wait, I was like, this doesn't look right. But then I looked at it, and then I was like, oh, maybe it is. And I was like in a hurry to send it off, and I didn't correct it. But Lathan Ransom, super special ball player from South Point, Tucson, South Point. Don't say that we don't show the South love. We showed them love. We could have left them off of this, but inside the numbers segment, Lathan Ransom, the super talented defensive back from South Point, took his career to Ohio State, and now is going to make his way all the way east, and he's going to be playing for the Carolina Panthers, which I think are going to be on the up and up, and had a super solid draft, 4th-round pick.
Their draft got rated very highly, among the top 3 in the NFL by most of the people that do that.
Yeah, they're going to be special. Gridiron,
including, of course, getting T-Mac in the 1st round.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a stud. So, hey, Gridiron, go ahead. Inside the numbers, Lathan Ransom.
Lathan Ransom, safety at Sal Point, 6'1", 210. Went in the 4th round, pick number 122 to Carolina. Started playing football at the age of 6. Loves watching film. Played at Ohio State last season. 76 tackles, 9 tackles for a loss, a sack, an interception, 3 forced fumbles. And, of course, they were the national champions. Go back 2 years ago in 2022, he blocked 2 punts at Ohio State. So he was getting on the field with the special teams pretty early in his career. Just toughness, a hard hitter, an enforcer, a tone setter. You go back to his senior year at Sal Point in 2019. He was the 4A Keno Region Defensive Player of the Year. He played in the U.S. Army game out there in San Antonio. Was the number 5 ranked safety nationally out of high school.
He was an absolute stud. I remember watching him and Bijan go head to head with Chandler in the Open, and I think that was over at Hamilton, and absolutely
semifinals. And they was a 1-score game.
Yeah, absolutely played their hearts out.
Game.
Absolutely incredible game. Also, that was Coach Benet's last game, I think.
It was
coaching.
Last game, yeah.
But yeah, hey, shout out to Lathan Ransom, huge accomplishment, man. Getting that natty, getting to hear his name called, and Ohio State not done.
Not done.
Denzel Burke, the Saguaro product, took his talents to Ohio State, and then now got drafted in the 5th round by the local team, the Arizona Cardinals. This is crazy because the Cardinals are always drafting a local product. I think you kind of brought that up
quite a bit. Yeah, well, they needed a local product to replace Roy Lopez now that he's in Detroit.
Yeah, and I think you brought that up last week, that the Cardinals are usually good to take a local product. While we were talking to Lecarrier last week. So look, so the Cardinals go local for real and fulfill a need. They draft Denzel Burke, one of the 6 defensive players that they drafted in the draft this year.
6 out of 6 on the defense.
Hey, Denzel Burke was super special. Real quick, one thing that I do got to note, me and a couple of analysts, and I'm not going to out them, but I will out myself. I always thought that Denzel, super talented athlete, but I always thought that he was a wide receiver. I always thought that he was going to transition and be an offensive weapon at the next level. I remember having a conversation with Coach Mons, and Coach Mons was like, hey, Chili, you got to put some different glasses on. I promise you, he is going to be one of the best defensive backs. He's going to get drafted. And here he is, another Jason Mons, since Jason's his human name, another Coach Mons talent getting drafted. This has got to be like his 5th player, maybe 4th player that's been drafted.
Get more and more branches.
Man, it's absolutely crazy.
Coach Mons will get to go see Denzel on some of his Sundays off after ASU victories. We got Denzel Burke, Saguaro, defensive back, 6'1", 195, 5th round, pick number 174 to Arizona. Also at Ohio State, had 48 tackles last season, 2 interceptions in 16 games. Of course, like Lathan, goes out a national champion. He grew up a Cardinals fan, 4-year starter at Ohio State, set the Ohio State record for true freshman snaps at cornerback. Ohio State, obviously a team that's always very deep. You don't always see freshmen, get on the field at a big program like that. And so he got on there early and got some snaps his first year right out of high school. Plays alert, physical, and determined. He could earn a backup role and also fight for starting reps here in Arizona. You go back to his senior year at Saguaro in 2020, was the number 8 athlete in the nation out of high school. And we say athlete because he did play both defensive back and wide receiver while at Saguaro. Unfortunately, he only got to play in 1 game his senior year. So he mostly got all the college offers out of what happened before that. His junior year, he was a little more productive on the offensive side of things, which is probably why you thought he might, go the wide receiver route in college. Had 313 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns in 2019.
Yeah, whenever I watched him, I always just felt like I was watching the next Terry Glenn.
Another Ohio State guy. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So when he went to Ohio State, I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy. They're gonna turn
probably a good thing that he went as a defensive back though, because that wide receiver room is always loaded in Columbus.
That defensive back room is always loaded.
There and the wide receivers.
Hey, that defensive back group is always loaded. That whole team's always loaded.
Yeah, they
are. Come on, Gridiron. Hey, I gotta ask you your own personal opinion. Did you think that was there somebody that you thought would get drafted that didn't get drafted? From Arizona.
We looked at a few guys last week. Let me see if I got that list here. I don't know if I do. Yeah. See, I don't know, might have gotten rid of it. We had someone go as an undrafted free agent that I thought might Jacoby Covington. I thought we might see him. Obviously, LeCarrier was watching, hoping in those during that 7th round that we'd see his name pop up on the bottom of the screen. So I didn't see him go anywhere. The only other guy that I saw get signed with a team as an undrafted free agent was Jacoby there, who was also at Saguaro and then at USC.
Man, that's what loaded that freaking. That team had never insane. Yeah, man. I really thought that we were going to hear Coleman Owens' name in that 7th round, just because of his production over there at Ohio and everything that he accomplished in his career and stuff. I just really thought that he
became a record setter at two different colleges, because I think he had records at NAU before that.
Absolute dude. Hey, look, what we do, guys, we do got something special. We had a special guest, so we might as well do something special, a little bit extra. Got to show some love. We're going to do an inside the numbers.
Back to this.
We'll revert back in a minute, but just to break some things up.
We'll go back to your guest. That's what I meant.
Oh, yeah. No, of course, we got to, because the yellow pad has been used, so
there we go.
We got to make sure that we take care of it, and activating the valley and having fun, working harder than anybody else in the country. We got to show some love to Arizona State.
That is a Sun Devil gold pad in this instance too, by the way.
I like that, and I think Coach Zillingham's going to appreciate that. But we got a special Inside the Numbers spotlight on our very own Saguaro product, straight from the U. Cannen, Siegel. This whole thing's been about the U. Shout out to Denzel Burke. Shout out to Cannen, Siegel. Coach Moms would be very, very.
Well, I mean, those were some stacked teams, and it's great to see that they didn't just peak in high school. That they're doing things at the next level in college and getting picked by the pros and getting to coach at big time schools like this. Yeah.
No, you're right. You're not lying. Hey, Gridiron, go ahead, take it away. Inside the Numbers spotlight on Arizona defensive assistant coach Cannen Siegel.
Yeah, a little bit limited here in what we got, but this is, of course, Cannen Siegel, ASU assistant DB coach. added to the ASU coaching staff officially in March. He was a special teams defensive line assistant going back to 2023. Look at his playing career, 2020 and 21 at Saguaro. Was early in his senior year in the second game of the year. They suffered a torn ACL, PCL, and MCL in his knee, obviously ending his high school career there. But he was still able to commit to Idaho State. He was, what do I have here? He was 6'2", 215, coming out of college or coming out of high school. And that was when Charlie Regal, of course, was the head coach at Idaho State for I think a year or so before he came to ASU. Cannen was a team captain on that 2021 team before the injury, and then obviously remained in that captain type role, was an assistant coach with Coach Mons and the rest of the staff on that team that ended up winning the Open Division. He planned to go into coaching while he was still in high school. And then in his junior year in 2020, kind of setting it up to where we thought he was going to have, this big breakthrough senior year. He had 29 tackles and a sack in just 6 games for the SaberCats his junior year.
Man, Siegel's been such a special player to observe and watch over the years. I remember watching him his freshman year at Saguaro, and then I watched him obviously sophomore, junior. And I thought that.
So would that have been a Coach O freshman team back then?
I can't remember if Coach
2018.
I can't remember if Coach O was coaching, but that team was loaded.
Team only lost the freshman. I'm assuming he played freshman ball.
Yeah, they lost one.
They lost one game that year. Yeah,
I think they lost one game.
I know he was playing defense, but that offense put up some ridiculous scores here. I'm just looking at the ledger here.
That team had Sean Miller, Ridge Dutchakal. That team was loaded.
Mm-hmm. That team went 7-1, and they broke 50 points 5 times in 8 games.
Tristan Monday, I think, played on
with
that
Red Sox. So yeah. And that was the team basically that all went as seniors 3 years later when they won the Open.
Yes. That team was a real deal, man.
The one loss, by the way, was Desert Edge, in case anybody's curious. So there you go.
I could believe that. I don't remember, but I could believe that. But I do remember that they had one loss. I don't know that Coach O was coaching that team though. I don't think that he was the head coach of that team. Because I do remember that Coach O was undefeated I want to say his first 2 years as head coach. And then to be a leader throughout his high school career, and I am just not surprised that he's where he's at right now. And super high IQ. I remember on numerous occasions through his junior year and his senior year talking to him about just the game in general and breaking down some opponents that they played against to kind of help with the Friday shows and things like that and the preview shows and all that stuff. So
he probably got to sit in on some of those meetings since he wasn't, since he wasn't going to be able to be on the field. They probably wanted to help utilize him, and that was a good way to do that, was breaking down an opponent. And
look, we know about young P4 head coaches here in the Valley for sure. We have the youngest one ever, right? But Coach Siegel is on that path. Like he's officially on that path.
Break Dillingham's record and go somewhere else.
Come on, man! Like
I'm saying, somewhere else. I don't want to get rid of.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, sure, he might be. He's not. I don't even think he's 22 yet.
What's that?
I don't even think he's 22 yet.
Probably not, because his senior year at Saguaro was
2021.
He was class of 22, so that's 3 years later. Yeah, he graduated in 2.5 years.
Yeah, I don't know. If
he might be 21 still. It depends on when his birthday falls.
Or whatever. But shout out to Jordan Ham for showing him love too. Sun Devil Camp's coming up. Sevens coming up. I
Yep.
know you don't hit a lot of sevens, but you do hit the one.
Well, the club sevens are
more
over now,
important one.
so we don't have those. But we obviously have the teams in spring ball got started this week, and you got about 3 or 4 weeks of spring ball, and then usually that Memorial Day weekend is the first tournaments. On the weekend for the sevens, and then that'll extend into June, and of course finish off with Flight Club at the end of June.
Which gridiron will be at?
Which I will be at. 48 hours removed from my vacation, but yes, and then we'll have the July month off pretty much, and then August they'll get cracking, getting ready for the season, which will begin for the big schools on Labor Day weekend.
I talked to DeMond Williams, the Washington quarterback by way of Basha. I talked to DeMond Williams at a Geo throwing session and stuff, and he just wanted me to make sure to remind everybody that he is the winningest quarterback in Flight Club history. So, so I guess I'll just drop that nugget right there.
2 belts, if I remember correctly, right?
He's got.
They won back-to-back years, is what I thought. Did they not win?
No, Basha only won one.
Oh, one. Okay.
Yeah, because Saguaro won, Basha won.
They made it to the championship against Saguaro, so he racked a lot of wins.
Yeah. So he's got 1 belt, but he does have the most Flight Club victories. So for some reason, I want to say like he's got something absurd. I think there were.
He probably played 3 years at. I don't know if Flight Club was going yet when he was a freshman. So.
No, he played his sophomore, junior, and senior year.
Right.
That's when Flight Club went.
Three years of Flight Club, and Basha was usually good for getting 8 games in because you'd get 3 games of pool play, and then if you go on a run to the championship, that was typically 5 games.
Well, the first year they didn't get a championship run. Because the first year was
the daytime Flight Club.
Yes, that was the daytime Flight Club when everybody ran out of gas except for Coach Mons, more Saguaro love, and his guys, Jaden Matthews, Jojo Clark and company, all those kids.
Guys who would go on to be on that 21 team is what it was.
Yeah, led them, and did their thing. So the young fellas, 8 that year. J.C. Dickerson was a dog that year. But I think Jaden Matthews won the MVP that year. So shout out to him. All right. Hey, Gridiron, let's talk about some pro sports stuff. Real quick.
It appears the Suns are not going to get Nash. He's taken a job with Amazon, which will have like a weekly NBA game this coming year.
Yeah, trying to make that safe money, and he didn't want to take the chance trying to
coach
again.
Charles Barkley, man, he's been undefeated for what, about 20 years now?
Something like that. Dang. All right. Hey, how did the Suns fix this problem? I hear that the Bucks are going to put Giannis on the table.
I kind of get the feel that the Bucks somehow managed to blow 2 monster leads tonight. They led by 20 in the second quarter tonight, and ended up going to overtime. And then in the overtime, they led by 7 with 40 seconds to go, and managed to lose to the Pacers. And so they lost the series 4-1. Obviously, they lost Dame Lillard in the last game, and possibly for the most of the next season, with that Achilles injury, torn Achilles. And so, it's 3 years in a row now, too, that Giannis has lost in the first round. And so you kind of get the feeling that Milwaukee's going to blow everything up from when they won the title. And so, I don't know. Okay, could you see Giannis to the Suns?
Giannis, Booker, and what else? How do you dump Beal?
And the hot thing too is that the Rockets and KD continue to heat up, and you watch what's going on with the Rockets and the Warriors, and kind of look like they need that guy with the clutch gene at the end of games. They can take that shot when Draymond's guarding you 1-on-1, and they might have upped the market a little bit for going after KD.
But that means that Bradley Beal's got to go to the Bucks. What are you going to give the Bucks?
Well, I don't know. It's still got to wait if Bradley Beal wants to leave. They're still kind of stuck with him.
Annoying. So annoying.
Never trade for a guy with a no trade clause. If we've learned anything,
There's only two of them.
Don't ever do that.
Well, there's only two of them. There's LeBron and there's Bradley Beal. I don't know how that works. I don't know how your man Bradley Beal got a no trade clause. All right.
He's
all
certainly
right.
the most hated son in a long time.
Hey, before I let you go, Cardinals draft, besides Denzel Burke, how do you feel about it and what they did drafting all these defensive guys? I'm not so mad about it. I think the Cardinals
I'm not. Well, I mean, Coach Cannen was a defensive coach, right, with the Eagles?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So it's kind of in his wheelhouse to be looking for defensive guys, and it wasn't a year where they were drafting, really high up like they have been in years past, to where they were looking for that impact receiver kind of thing, like last year. And I like what they got with the run stopper there and from Ole Miss and in the middle of the line there, and then and kind of building it around the defense. And it's possible you could see 4 of those guys start a game for the Cardinals over the course of the 17-game season.
How long is Kyler Murray going to stay here? How long is the Kyler Murray leash for you?
I got to believe that it's got to be this year to make the playoffs. I mean, what I said last year going in, remember they were coming off of like a 4-win season. And so I said, I'd like to see it to when they put the teams on the screen for in the hunt, the Cardinals are on that list. And they were on that list. They were in the hunt. They didn't get knocked out till the second to last week of the season. But this is the year that they got to break it down and get in the playoffs, because Kyler's played in 1 playoff game the entire time he's been here, and it didn't go well. So yeah, they've got to make that next step this year. Otherwise, yeah, they might be looking for a quarterback next year.
Do you think they should have taken a quarterback this year? Do you think that they should have?
No, I don't think the quarterback class was very good this year.
Man, I got to be honest, man. I am stunned that Shador freaking slipped all the way.
Fifth
round. Not fifth, but 5th round. There's a difference.
It became the story of the draft. That's for sure. I mean, on one hand, it was probably the not working out at the combine for teams, and teams not feeling that from what they'd seen that they thought he was a 1st or 2nd round talent. And then at some point when you decide he's not a 1st or 2nd round talent, and you're drafting someone who's going to be a backup on your team, that you don't want the circus. And let's face it, it's going to be a circus when they have their training camp and when they have their mini camp, especially since they took 2 quarterbacks. But that's just the way it is. All the stories Monday morning, we're still talking about that being the story of the draft.
How do you think this is going to play out for the Browns, though? Because they drafted Dylan Gabriel 2 rounds earlier.
Yep. It's very rare you see a team take 2 quarterbacks in the same draft, particularly when they're both, kind of mid-round drafts. Sometimes you see where a team takes a 1st-round guy, and then they might throw someone on at the end of like a 6th or 7th round pick. But they're going to be competing with each other. And what do you got? You got Flacco, who's obviously not going to be the long-term solution for Cleveland.
1-year starter.
It might be Kenny Pickett starting week 1. They still have him. They don't have Jameis anymore, and I think Deshaun Watson's still going to be injured at the beginning of the season. I don't know that he's going to be ready week 1.
Browns got themselves a nice little mess. I'm really wondering if
the best thing the Browns did was dealing that number 2 pick to get Jacksonville's 1st round pick, because do we think Jacksonville's going to make a run next season?
I don't know, man. I mean, I like Travis Hunter playing both ways, and I like that they want to bring that excitement. Like,
it's excitement, but is it going to be a 10-12 win season?
Okay. Do you think Travis is going to play more on offense or defense?
I think it'll be defense more from the start. I think he might have to earn his reps at receiver based on how well he plays defense.
How much do you think that he's going to play on offense?
I would say not enough for fantasy football people. I think it might be a situation where you see some red zone packages.
Let's say less than 15 plays a game.
It might build to that. I don't think it'll be that week 1.
He's going to average less than 15 for the season, for the 17 games.
15 plays on offense.
Yeah, he's going to average less.
A fair number. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, good on. Hey, I appreciate
Jacksonville's first round pick could be a pretty high pick next year, just for moving down or moving up 3 spots.
It could be, but what would they draft then?
Well, I know, and next year is supposed to be a better quarterback draft. So if they decide,
didn't they tie all that money up into Lawrence?
Right over.
Didn't they tie up a ton of money into Lawrence?
Jacksonville? Yeah. Probably, yeah.
I thought they just did that like a year or two ago. I thought they gave him some massive extension. Maybe it's coming close to an end, though. One and only Gridiron Arizona. Inside the numbers segment, men lie, women lie, Gridiron don't, because he's always been making sure that everybody's on point with the numbers situation. If you put something out there, Gridiron's going to let you know if it's facts or not. So, Gridiron, I appreciate you hanging out. I'm going to catch up with you next week. Are you going to make it out to any of the spring showcases or things like that?
I'm probably going to hit someone's spring game right at the end of spring ball. I haven't decided who yet.
Who's going to get that lucky opportunity from you?
I usually I've been making one trip out a year for, I don't know, several years now. So we'll see where I make it. I like it. I like having a spring game where it's like a true competition kind of thing instead of just practice. So I have not decided where I'm going yet.
All right, man. Well, I'm super excited. At some point, me and you got to grab some lunch and stuff. And I think I got to take you out to lunch as usual. Also, we are going to be posting. I am going to be posting a graphic so that everybody can see how we did these picks, so that there's no confusion later. And everybody always wants to talk smack, and then they're like, "Oh, hey, I couldn't find the recording." Blah 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 blah. Anyways,
I'm about the weekly picks during the season.
Yeah. I'm gonna make sure that our scheduled projection picks are posted somewhere.
The schedule picks. Yeah. Okay, I've got those written down for our.
So
what have we done so far? I think we've done about eight schedules. So that sounds about right.
Yeah. So,
let me see what we've done. Wrong book. Let's see which one it is.
So our guy K Visuals is going to make a graphic.
7 so far. We've done 7.
Okay, so our guy K Visuals is going to make a graphic that has our picks, what we thought, and how it all works out, and I will post
for this coming season.
Yeah, for this coming season. For this coming season only. So yeah. So there's that. All right, Gridiron.
Or next week then.
All right, Gridiron. Hey, I appreciate you. Men lie, women lie. Gridiron don't. I'm gonna catch up with you next week, where we will be breaking down schedules.
Yep.
One schedule in particular, I will let you know which one that is off air, because we had somebody reach out to us. So there's that. Right. All right.
Careful what you wish for.
Hey, sheesh, we're giving you the real. You know the deal. I got to thank my special guest, Coach Siegel, ASU defensive assistant, for stopping by and chopping it up for a little bit. And then I also got to show love to my guy, Gridiron, producer / co-host, also has his own segment, Inside the Numbers, on the 2-piece, which has been running for about 8 years consistent. I don't think I've ever missed a Tuesday. Gridiron probably know better than I do, but I don't think I've ever missed a Tuesday in those 8 years. Sick, holiday, traveling. It is what it is. Anyways, your boy Chili, I am going to make my way out of here. I got some unpacking to do. Not shoes, though. All the shoes have been unpacked. So I'm going to catch up with y'all next week. I really appreciate everybody hanging out. I do got to show some love to the Carter brothers. I do know that they are doing their Meet the Coaches tonight. I want to say it's like May 2nd or something like that. So if you are at Maryville athlete looking to go to Maryville, whatever the case, make sure that you guys stop by, check out my guys, and tell them that their boy Chili says what's up and wants to know what the shoes on the sideline are going to be. Other than that, I think it's gonna be Thunders or Lightnings or Jordans or whatever. But anyways, your boy Chili, I'm out of here. Forks up forever. Y'all know the deal.